So before I get into this weekly anime review of Gangsta, I just want to say something real quick. Earlier today, I uploaded 3 videos. I uploaded Bleach, Toriko, and One Piece videos. And supposedly, the video quality only went to like 240p for a while, like a couple hours. And I uploaded the videos in 720p, but YouTube is fucking derping. It wouldn't go to 720p. If a majority of you might not know that when you upload a video, let's say if I uploaded a video in 720p 60 frames per second, it doesn't mean that it'll instantly be that quality when it uploads to YouTube, because YouTube has to allow that and process that before you could swap through the quality settings. And for some reason, YouTube was derping on itself and it wouldn't allow the video to be seen in 720p. So hopefully when I upload this video of Gangsta review, you all don't have that exact same problem that my chapter reviews had this morning. So we'll see. So anyways, let's talk about this episode of Gangsta. Warwick, I am really liking his backstory, and before I even get into anything with the backstory and the gigolo and different things like that, I just want to say I like the atmosphere of this episode. A very different pace compared to what we got used to in the first 2 episodes, because if we think about it, the first 2 episodes were setting up the world. For instance, setting up the premise, setting up what we should expect, and giving us this high action-packed, bloody, violent series. That was what the first 2 episodes were. And with this episode of Gangsta, we get a different perspective of the series. We don't get just gritty action, blood, violence, and stuff like that. We actually get a calm episode that doesn't have a lot of blood or violence. It still does, but it doesn't have as much as it usually does. And this episode is mainly there for characterization, giving characterization for Warwick and Nicholas in this episode, along with Alex, in the direction of her character and where it's going. And so, first things first, I want to talk about that flashback. That's the main thing I really want to dive into first, because that flashback is very cryptic. You don't really know what was going on besides certain key things that we got from this episode, but even then, it wasn't conclusive where we know if it's true or not. So I'm just going to be theory crafting about this. So from what we saw, it seems like the boy that disappeared like 22 years ago, that is Warwick. He was a part of some form of famous family that got hunted down, and Warwick's father got killed by a tag. And the tag person was Nicholas, from what I can see, a younger version of Nicholas that killed Warwick's father and injured Warwick's eye, took out his eye, from what I can see from the flashback. Now, like I said, the flashback is very cryptic, so you can't really 100% get everything from that, but that's what it looked like. It looked like Warwick and Nicholas had some form of past where Nicholas came to be like, you know, a person that was taking out the trash who's going to kill that family, and then something happened where Nicholas realized something was wrong, and then they became friends ever since. And then also with the episode, we get clarification with what is going on, because at the end, you see Nicholas just sitting on the sofa, and you see his hands like shaking like this. His hands are shaking, and you see how he's taking medicine. Now, the last episode, we saw Nicholas taking some medicine, and I neglected to actually say anything about it because it just flew over my fucking head. But it's very important in this episode that I need to point it out, especially with the theme of what this episode is trying to set up. So apparently, Warwick and Nicholas have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because to see how his hands were shaking like this and he was taking medicine to calm himself down. And also, you see in this episode that some form of hint of a love interest for Nicholas. For instance, you see in one specific scene in Big Mama's house, you see how when the door is closing, you see Alex look at Nicholas through the door, and you see this woman's hand just shaking and going up, and you see it, you know, the woman's hand grab Nicholas's face. You can assume that's the person they were talking about when Big Mama was talking about, you know, that person doesn't have long and taking all this different type of medicine. So this person is about to die. We don't really know this person's name, we don't really know their appearance, but the way it was done, it seems like Nicholas has some form of attachment to this woman, to where either A, she's a past lover, maybe some form of family member, we have no idea, but whatever it is, Nicholas is attached to this person, and most likely this person has a lot of role to play when it comes between the connection of Warwick and Nicholas's connection in the relationship from whatever's going on in the past. So that is my theory crafting with the medicine, to the past, and that specific scene. Now that I've said that, let's talk about the gigolo. So, Warwick is a gigolo, and count me surprised. I did not expect to see Warwick's main job as a gigolo. And I mean, what was really funny about this episode is when that one girl called for Warwick, you know, to do a job and sleep with him and have sex. I like that one scene where, you know, he's about to leave and all that. She's like, hey, call your friend there, you know, I mean, call your friend Nicholas and all that. We can have a three-way. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, and then Warwick just turns her down. He just fucking's like, nope, I'm not doing this shit. So, that right there, very funny. And I wanted to actually point something out. There was a lot of ass shots in this. Like, I was told by a couple of Chibits that Gangsta is censoring its nudity, which I expected, because at the end of the day, Japan is going to censor majority of nudity. They will. And so I expected. I mean, that's what they're doing with Monster Musume. That's what they're doing with To Love Ru. And I expect it in a series like this, especially if it has nudity, which I know for a fact it does, because I saw some of the chapters when I was looking through the manga volumes that was recently sent to me. So, yeah, apparently there was supposed to be a lot of nudity in the recent couple episodes, and I'm going to assume that there was supposed to be nudity as well in this episode with the gigolo scenes and, you know, all the girls inside the club and stuff like that, but I have no idea, because I haven't actually read that part in the manga, but still, I think that's what's going on. Now, one thing I do want to actually say right now is that the episode really did a good job with building up the atmosphere and this dark atmosphere that we're expecting from these characters and their tragic backstory. I really wonder what direction Alex's character is going to take, too. Like, I mean, there's a lot of mystery. You can assume what direction she's going to take. Is she going to go down the righteous path? Is she going to go down the path of, like, you know, what Nicholas and Warwick did? Is she going to take, like, a path unexpected? I mean, there's a lot of questions, a lot of mystery building up around her character. And I noticed when it comes to these type of series, like, it's very obvious in a series like Black Lagoon. Like, you see a character that was in a similar situation as Alex, you know, trying to figure out what side they want to be on, the light or dark side or neutral in between, and that's kind of what Alex is going through, trying to choose what route she wants to go with her life. And if she stays in this town for too long, she's going to stay on the dark side to where she will be corrupted by all this darkness of gangs, drugs, and all this other type of stuff, etc. So that's my thoughts of this episode of Gangsta. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.